Hi, this is the first of three orientation videos that you're going to watch that hopefully will help you get familiar with the course and also just set you up for success overall. So in this video, we're going to take a look together at the syllabus and kind of familiarize you with what the kind of structure of our courses in terms of timetables, etc., and what you're going to need to do to earn your grade. Okay, so the syllabus, maybe you've already found it, is over here on the left-hand toolbar. And so if we click on that, and then you'll notice that there is a syllabus and also a college policies document. The syllabus is the document that has everything that's unique to our class, whereas the college policies document is all that information that is the same for all of your classes, and so different things that are true college-wide. So we're just going to take a look at the syllabus together. And click here, we can open it. There we go. So this first page is about COVID information, obviously not so relevant to us since we're meeting only, your work is all online. When we get to this next page, there's information on how to reach me. The absolute best way to reach me is through my NVCC email. I'm on that email often. My goal, and what happens most of the time, is that you will get a response from me within 24 hours. Of when you send an email to me, especially during the week, Monday to Friday. If that doesn't happen, it's probably because I have lost track of your email. I never got your email. I got 50 of them and yours got buried. And so if after 24 hours you've sent me an email, especially Monday to Friday, and you haven't heard back from me, feel free to send me a nice, polite reminder and just saying, hey, I emailed you on Tuesday and I didn't hear back from you. I'm wondering if you saw my email. I will appreciate that reminder. That will never be annoying to me. So that is always a good way to reach me. I do have office hours on Mondays and Tuesday, as you can see here, at several different times. For us, I imagine most of those will be virtual appointments, and you will need to make an appointment because obviously I'm not sitting on WebEx waiting to see if somebody shows up. So just give me at least an hour's heads up through email that you'd like to make an appointment, and we can meet. I'm available at other times by appointment, and so if those times don't work for you, or if it's a Wednesday and you have a question that really you don't want to wait until Monday to talk about or an issue, just reach out to me and we'll find another time. Okay. Our course description, the required textbook. So you had an email from me a week or two ago that talked about the fact that we will be using a free textbook. I have provided the PDF. It's over on that left-hand toolbar. And that's no cost to you. If you want a hard copy of that, you can buy it. And I've got some details here about how to do that. I think it's $35 for a hard copy, so still not very much money. And so if you have questions about that, let me know. You will need to read the textbook. I am going to make the assumption that you've read it, and your graded work will assume that you've read the textbook. So make sure you access it and make sure you read it before the dates that I've indicated for each chapter. Okay. And then there's also this LibGuide, library guide for Psych 111 that our library has put together, and there's all kinds of good information there that will help you write papers, etc. So do take a look at that. We've got our learning outcomes. Those also get repeated in each of the chapter folders, but these actually do give you a good outline of what you'll need to be able to do and know as we move through the course, so do take a look at those as well. This grading system is the same throughout the college. The only difference you'll see on my syllabus is that I'm operating on a 1,000-point rather than a 100-point system, so you see the adjustment for that, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. All right, but this is how we'll convert from number grades to letter grades at the end of the semester. So let's talk about the thing you want to know the most, which is how you're going to earn your grade. And maybe many of you probably have looked at the syllabus already, so let me just kind of talk through this. We are on a 1,000-point system. I like a 1,000-point system for a number of reasons. I think first, it's transparent. that you don't have to do any fancy math to figure out what your grade is. You know that if you don't lose any points all semester, you have 1,000 points, and that's an A. If you've earned extra credits, those get put into that same pile. So you could, if you didn't lose any and you earned extra credit, you could wind up over 1,000. But as you lose points during the semester, you can subtract those from 1,000. That's one way of thinking about your grade, so that if you lose 20 points on an exam, and that's the first thing you've had graded, that's 900, you're at 980 now. I think that's a very convenient way of thinking about, kind of where you stand and what actions you need to take, perhaps, to get the grade you want. You could start with 0 in your mind and build up from there. That's another way of thinking about it. But it is very transparent. The other thing I like about it is that you keep every point you earn, even if something hasn't gone well. So let's say you have the unfortunate experience of getting a 50 out of 100 on an exam. That's not great. That's a failing grade. In a traditional grading system, you would get an F, which essentially is a 0, and it would be as if you didn't take the exam. But in the 1,000-point grading system, you keep all 50 points that you earned. You lost 50, but you also keep 50. You knew 50 points worth of material, you keep 50 points worth for your grade. So I really do like the 1,000-point system for those reasons. There are 4 exams. 100 points each, so 400 points out of your 1,000 are about exams. You'll have exams every 2 chapters. So we cover 8 chapters. Every 2 chapters, you will have an exam. The exams will be a combination of multiple choice questions, 30 multiple choice questions, and then 10 open-ended questions. They're like paragraph long answers, so kind of very short essay kinds of things. You do have study guides already available on Blackboard, and so that'll give you a good sense of what I'm emphasizing on the exams, and it's great. It's a great idea to have those study guides available to you as you read the chapters, so that you know what to emphasize in your reading and what you can emphasize less. So that's a good strategy. In addition to the exams, you do have 2 short written papers. The first of these we'll talk about in the 3rd video in this orientation material, and that one is worth 130 points. The second paper you'll get more information about later on, though the assignment's available to you on Blackboard now, is worth 150 points. So those together is 280, and if we add those to the exams, we're now at 680 out of 1,000 points. In addition to those, we have online quizzes, reading quizzes for each chapter, and these are meant to test how well you understood the textbook reading. And really they're to prompt you to do the textbook reading, because you can take those quizzes as many times as you want for the highest grade until the due date. And so, if you take it once and you get half the questions wrong, there's only 10 questions, you get half the questions wrong, you can then retake it, and Blackboard will only record and use the higher grade that you earn. So those are only 10 points each, not a lot of points, total of 80 over the 8 quizzes. But they are important to do, because those 80 points will make the difference in a letter grade for you. So they are important to do. The other thing that happens in each chapter is 2 discussion forums that you have. So there's 16 discussions over the course of this semester, because there's 8 chapters. There's a grading rubric for each of these. You can earn 15 points for each discussion, for a total of 240 points. And those discussions will be spelled out in the chapters. One is a prompt that I give, where I ask you to talk about something specific, or to offer examples of something specific. And one is what I call a muddiest point discussion, where you have to post a question. And sometimes students will say, I don't have any questions, everything was clear. First, that seems highly unlikely that everything is completely clear after your first pass through it. But also, thinking about material enough to come up with questions is a way of learning material deeply. And so getting you to think about what questions you might have, even if it's just about things you want to know more about on a specific topic, and then having to think about how to answer those questions for your classmates, which will be part of your job, is a way of learning the material deeply. And then finally, I mentioned earlier, there will be extra credit opportunities in many of the chapters. There's a final extra credit as well. Those just get added to your points for 1,000. So, for example, there are no makeups for the quizzes. If you miss the due date for one of the chapter quizzes, it's just gone. But you can always make up those 10 points by doing an extra credit at another point, and so that's something to keep in mind. There are makeups for the exams. If you miss an exam, there is an opportunity to take a missed exam, but only at the end of the semester. So you do need to wait until the end of the semester to do that. So if we look at our calendar really quickly, you'll see that our calendar after the first few days follows a pretty reliable pattern, and hopefully that helps you stay organized. There are specific dates also in the chapter headings that we'll look at in the second video as we look at Blackboard together. But after so these first few days are your orientation, and then on Monday the 30th, our first Monday together, we start chapter 1. And most of the chapters, all but 2 of them, go for 2 weeks. 2 of them are shorter than that. But they open on a Monday, they close on a Sunday. And so the dates you see here on the syllabus are the first date and the last date. All the dates in between when work is due will be listed on Blackboard, and we'll look at those together. And so you can see how we move through the semester here. You can see on here when the exams will be, when paper assignments are due, etc. So that'll all be on Blackboard as well. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some idea. Feel free to post questions about the syllabus or anything related to it on the course questions thread in the orientation. Okay, and I will see you in the next video where we look at how Blackboard is set up for this course.